Welcome to Outwood Grange Academies Trust. This is a family of schools based in the north of England. In 2008, the Secretary of State for Education asked Outwood Grange Academy to sponsor not only itself, but to sponsor other academies that were struggling in the region. We sponsored a school in Doncaster and it became Outwood Academy Adwick, and Outwood Grange College of Technology, where I stand today, became Outwood Grange Academy. So that's how we started, with 2 schools, and 10 years later there are now 32. Outwood have got a great reputation for supporting schools that are really in difficult circumstances and transforming them at double quick time. Every school in the trust, bar just one now, has gone from special measures or inadequate to good or outstanding. There's a primary that feeds into Outwood Grange Academy called Outwood Primary Academy Kirkhamgate, a beautiful school and one of the fastest ever to go from special measures.
It truly comes down to our vision of children first, raising standards, transforming lives. And for me, when we raise standards, yes, we look at raising standards in those core areas that will make the difference to children's life chances and choices in English and math. But actually it's also raising standards in art and in music and in history and in geography. Every single child has got a talent, and what our job is to do in the primary sector is to help children A, discover what that talent is, and then B, to sort of take that talent further.
Outwood has a transformation model. We go in and support everything from leadership right through to professional development, and offering a praise culture for children and for the staff to make sure that we can bring that step change to performance.
I'm really privileged to do the job that I do. We work in communities in many cases where there is disadvantage and where maybe children don't get the best start in life. So our whole remit in terms of secondary education is to give children those life chances in order to obtain the destinations that they want, whatever that may be.
Children are thriving, staff are thriving, and the educational outcomes that they're getting are then fantastic. And that just doesn't just transform their time at school, it transforms their entire future lives. Children need to be happy, healthy, safe. Once you've got that foundation, from there you can build. We talk about raising standards and transforming lives. So we stand for being an inclusive, caring family of schools. There are currently today 25,000 children in the trust. We need to make sure that they get the best life chances. But the values of the trust are, if our schools are performing and performing really well, and when you know there's another school in difficulty and you think you can offer help, it's a moral imperative that we share that practice and be a part of the wider system. And when we talk about raising standards and transforming lives, I don't just mean just the children, it's also doing that for the staff. The trust is only as good as the staff that deliver the education. Numerous times staff have told me when I've walked into schools in the first few days and weeks that they're thinking of leaving teaching, leaving the profession forever, not just that school. You go back a few weeks later, a few months later, and those same staff are running up to you and saying that they now love their job. Their own life circumstances are better, they're happier at home because they're happier in work, because they're seeing their schools and they're seeing the communities just transform. There are 3,662 staff working in the trust. We have a very large institute called the Outwood Institute of Education, where we have hundreds of trainee teachers. Some of them are owned from School Direct, and then partnering with 5 regional universities to just make sure that we get the very best staff to support the children in the best way we can. When you have a conversation with a child that's struggled and has very much given up, and then you can see the joy when they start to feel a sense of achievement, a sense of self-worth and place in the school, in the community, then you know that you're doing something worthwhile. You're not just stopping that child from being vulnerable then and then, you're stopping them from being vulnerable, I hope, for life. And when you see that, nothing can ever give you that same sense of satisfaction ever again. It's a tremendous thing, a powerful thing.